How's it going, traders? Welcome to this week's Forex Forecast. I am your host, FX Telepath, and we will get right into the analysis here, starting with the DXY. So looking at a weekly chart here of the DXY, I pointed out this weekly demand zone from all the way back here at 101.118. Now, we have seen a significant push up on the DXY. Now, I think we will struggle to break above 104. That's just me personally, and if we actually look at a lower time frame like the daily chart compared to the weekly chart, we can actually see a better picture of what's going on. And real quick, if you guys have struggled to make any good trades this week, or if you've taken a bunch of losses this week due to the nature of the market and the huge pullback in the dollar and all the crazy moves, don't sweat it, guys. It's all good. Just continue to move on. Do not get discouraged. It was definitely just a crazy week, especially with the yen pairs going crazy like they were as well. So do not get discouraged. Keep going. You guys got this. So as far as the daily chart goes here, we have daily supply located at 101.950 and an overall daily downtrend. So in my opinion, the momentum is down here on the DXY. So with this daily supply and control, I am actually expecting this thing to continue to push down, to continue with the overall downtrend. Now, a lot of you might be saying, "Oh no, you're crazy. I think we're going to go up. Look at the bullish pressure." Well, yes, there is bullish pressure in this period of time, but we also have to look at the overall structure of what's going on. Now, what is stronger than a daily downtrend? Well, that is a weekly demand zone. Remember, we are inside of that weekly demand zone, but if you look right here, we almost broke it. We didn't quite break it, so it is looking weak. So I am expecting the DXY to react off of this supply zone to the downside on the daily chart. Now, it is also possible that we break out, maybe have a fake above the downward trend line here on the daily chart. We pull back into this better quality daily supply at 103.031. So this supply is better, but this is just the nearest supply. So yes, I think it is possible that we fake out and then do something like that as well. So those are really the two options. I wouldn't even really consider buying any US dollar pairs until we can get a significant shift in momentum here on the daily chart, which would be the removal of both of these zones and the trend line like that. If that takes place and we have a daily demand right here, that would be your area to look for longs in like that. But until that takes place, we just need to continue to trade with the overall downtrend here on the DXY. All right, on to the forecast for the Euro US dollar. The past week, the banks got rid of 13,867 longs, and they also got rid of 12,265 shorts. First, we'll do a top-down approach here, weekly chart. We have basically a rally-based rally buying area located right about there on the weekly chart at about 1.102. And we are actually pulling back into it. We've seen a little bit of a bullish reaction here on this weekly candle, which has created a little bit of a wick. So we are rallying into this weekly rally-based rally buying area. So that is a significant sign that, hey, maybe the euro is going to continue to push up here. If you look at a daily chart, something has taken place here. Well, we pushed, obviously we had a very, very deep pullback into the euro here, right into a daily demand zone. Now, remember, if the flip zone on the DXY, these are the two supply zones on the DXY essentially, right? Just in reverse demand. So same thing is possible here. We could wick into the daily demand down below and then push up like that. That is certainly a possibility, especially with this trend line being in contact right now. That makes me very, very nervous for longs. I know that might sound the opposite of what you've been told, but remember, the majority of traders are losing traders, so we have to remember that trend lines are not the highest odds situation in my opinion, but we're going to continue to move on here. So with the trend line in control, it's definitely making me nervous here on the euro. So what we need to be doing is looking for confirmation, because these set and forget trades have actually already taken place. Let me actually walk you guys through the set and forget trade that I took here on the euro to kind of help you guys out. So I noticed that, first of all, price was in a daily uptrend, pulling back into daily demand. And I also noticed that there was this 4-hour demand zone right here that was embedded inside of the overall daily demand. And I went down to my entry time frame on the 1-hour chart, and I located this beautiful drop base rally demand zone right here. Very, very clean move away. Just so extremely large, right? It's such a huge move, such a quick move, tight basing. Love the zone. And not only that, the better part about it was that it was located inside not only a daily zone, but also a 4-hour zone as well. So I refined my entry down to that 1-hour zone, and I simply just placed my set and forget trade like that. And if you look, price wicked in, almost no drawdown. And basically I went to bed the one night, I think it was Wednesday night, and I put my stop loss somewhere around here underneath this zone. My 5-to-1 take profit was right almost at the high, crazily. And my 5-to-1 take profit was hit. So that was a beautiful set and forget trade. Just wanted to break that down for you guys. I'm going to try to start doing more trade reviews in these weekly Forex forecasts just so you guys can learn from them, right? This is just a classic example of a set and forget trade that I always take when the setup comes to me. So looking at the euro now, remember that daily demand is in control still, and we want to be looking for longs. We actually got a set and forget down here as well. Not a zone that I would have taken based on my rules kind of, but also a decent set and forget. Anyways, what do we be doing now? Well, there is this supply zone here. It's hidden supply at 1.10. It's not the best supply, but what I like about it is that we've already reacted perfectly off the zone like that. So if we do get something like this on the 1 hour chart where that's removed, that would be your 1 hour confirmation. And what I mean by confirmation is that you're taking the daily chart and you're lowering it down to a 1 hour zone, and then if there's a 1 hour zone here, that would be your 1 hour confirmation trade like that, and hopefully this is what takes place after. So that is what I am looking for here on the euro. I much prefer set and forget trades rather than confirmation now. But, you know, for me personally, I kind of want to add to my, well, I don't want to add to it. I'm already out of my position, but I would like to continue to buy the euro as long as we have that daily uptrend. So now we're just waiting for that 1 hour supply to be taken out to look for longs. If you are bearish to euro, which I get, we do have on the 4 hour chart, we have a decent supply zone at 1.11 right here. This could be an area where you get a quick little day trade scalp off of it. But remember, guys, the daily trend is up, the weekly momentum, it's all up. So any shorts have to be on lower time frames. And I know that a lot of guys, a lot of guys want me to just say which way to trade. But honestly, I could see reasons to be going in both ways. So, so we have a 4 hour supply zone right here. We could be looking for shorts on day trading time frames. Remember, for longs, it's day trading as well, but longs for swing trading makes the most sense for swing trading. So still just waiting for that 1 hour supply zone to be removed for confirmation here on the euro. All right, onto the forecast for gold. The past week, the banks got rid of 15,511 longs, and they also added 4,198 shorts. Now onto the weekly chart here. Oh, sorry, I'll keep this 4-chart layout out. I think it's possible we do pull back to 1870, especially with this daily demand removed on gold. But the problem with gold, though, is there's a lot of demand below. Well, not really a lot, but there is a decent 4 hour demand zone at 1941 here. We could see price get held up by that zone like that. So this would definitely be an area where we could look for that confirmation on the lower time frames to get a quick little day trade off of that zone. But as far as a long-term perspective here in gold, it's very, very difficult to tell where it's going. I mean, the high's up here, demand's down here. We're kind of just floating in the middle. We don't really have a daily trend or a 4 hour trend. So where's gold going? It's difficult to tell. My gut tells me we're probably going to go to all-time highs, just kind of based on fundamentals. But you know, the question is, are we going to pull back to refuel for a push up, or are we just going to push up from here? Is this like the refuel right here? That's kind of the question that I'm asking right now. So if you're struggling to trade gold, guys, don't sweat it. I'm also struggling to trade gold. I really see no setups, to be quite honest with you guys. So gold, definitely a tricky one right now. If we do continue to push lower, we do have some sort of buying area down at like the 1935 area that I just drew on the daily chart. But I wouldn't really, it's not an area where I'd put a ton of money on that. I'd much rather wait for the clean weekly demand at 1870. So as far as gold goes now, I think day trading, it makes sense. If you look at a 1 hour chart, we have a 1 hour downtrend here, I would say. So if we do get a pullback up to 1 hour supply, could look for potential day trading shorts. But guys, it's very, very confusing right now. Really no trends. So very, very difficult to predict where gold's going to go. USDJPY forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 11,905 longs, and they also added 582 shorts. Weekly chart here, we are stuck between buying and selling right now, just kind of sitting in the middle. I'm not sure what this candle formation is called. I do not trade candle patterns, so you're going to have to forgive me. I think it's a hammer or something. But on the weekly chart, looks like we wanted to push down, and then all of a sudden, boom, very, very strong push up in the US dollar. So how do we go about trading the USD yen? Well, on the daily chart, if you guys remember from last week's forecast, a couple forecasts ago, I pointed out this daily supply at 141.310. I'm pretty positive I was saying we either need to wait for this demand, we either need to wait for this demand to be hit, this purple zone down there, or for this daily supply to be removed for swing trades. For day trading, it's totally different. So for swing trading, we need to still wait for this purple zone to be hit or for this supply zone to be removed on the daily chart. Now, we don't absolutely have to, but it is the higher odds thing to do. So looking at the 4-hour chart of the USD yen, we already had a perfect trade off of that 4-hour zone on the USD yen. I'm not sure if I called that one out for the dime members or not, but this was a trade off of that zone like that. Could have been a day trade, but really for the yen now, I am just not seeing anything. Whenever we have a huge wick like this, it just kind of throws everything off. So for day trading, guys, everything's kind of used up. Supply's all tested, demand's all tested. So I'll be straight up with you guys. I really see no setups here in the USDN. It's really not on my watch list. It definitely was for a long time. But part of being a mature trader with experience, you're going to realize that some things and sometimes you need to take off your watch list when it's not really making sense. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here on the USDN. Things would be different. If price was up here and we had this 4-hour demand zone down below, I'd say, hey, you could look for confirmation longs coming off that demand zone. But just the nature of when I record these videos, there's no setups right now. So we need to wait for, like I said, daily zones to be removed or the daily demand zone to be hit on the USD yen. Hey guys, before we go over the pound here, I just wanted to point out a beautiful confirmation trading setup that I pointed out to the Diamond members here on the GBPUSD. So basically we have this very clean 4-hour demand zone right here, and price is pulling back into this 4-hour demand zone. Now, if you guys aren't aware, every night during the week, I do a daily market breakdown for the Diamond members only. There, I will point out confirmation trades like this one you see here on the GBPUSD. So when price pulled back into the overall 4-hour demand zone that you see, we had not only one, but two trades here on the 50-minute chart. Now, depending on your risk to reward and everything you look for, you can see we had a beautiful move off the first zone like this, and then off the original zone down here. What a move. If you look, the risk to reward on that last trade is just absolutely insane. So just wanted to point that out. So if you want to join the membership, you can check out the member video on my YouTube page if you want more information on it. But this is a quick example of what you get for joining the Diamond membership. There's also other membership options as well, but this is the one where I focus the majority of my attention on, and the ones where I'll point out confirmation trades like this one here on the GBPUSD. So if you are a serious trader and you want to get help with your trading, video lessons, all that good stuff, check it out. Links in the description down below to the Diamond membership. All right, on to the GBPUSD forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 29,771 longs, and they also got rid of 25,000 shorts. Looking at a weekly chart here, massive red candle last week, but this past week, a doji candle on the weekly chart. So basically a lot of indecision. What I'm looking at here is the overall weekly momentum being up. Now this chart does look very, very similar to the euro, where we have the demand zone here. On the daily chart, the overall trend to the upside. Now on the pound, I did take a half loss with half risk. I know that might sound a little confusing. Basically, we had this 1-hour confirmation trade right here, and I took this trade, but I recently just took my profit on the euro US dollar. My 5-to-1 was hit, and my profit was taken, and then I saw price pulling back down in this 1-hour zone. We were talking about it in the private Discord group, and I still like the zone, and I ended up taking it. But what I decided to do was basically the US dollar was on the tear. I was on a tear that day, so things were looking really, really emotional in the market. So what I decided to do was, instead of risking my normal 1%, I decided to risk 0.5%. And then not only that, price pushed up, hit my 1-to-1 alert. So I moved my stop loss to half risk right there, and I was stopped out. So I basically took a half risk, half loss. Basically nothing. So I'm happy with that. I just also want to show you guys a losing trade as well, and kind of how I manage my risk after taking a win and based on these circumstances. So how do we go ahead and trade the pound now? Well, on the 1 hour, remember, we have daily demand in control right now. So just like the euro, we want to be looking for those confirmation longs. And on the 1 hour chart, we actually have a 1 hour zone here. I don't like the zone as much. I don't like this kind of indecision candle right here that's halfway through the move. I would have preferred to see a bigger green candle, but at the end of the day, it is 1 hour confirmation. There's a lot of trading in this area as well, so it is kind of a low odds situation in my opinion, but this could definitely be an area where at 1.27 at this 1 hour demand, you could look for extra 5-minute confirmation or 1-minute confirmation, which means when price hits this zone, you go down to your 1-minute or 5-minute time frame and you look for demand zones to trade in that zone. So that's what I'd be doing here on the GBPUSD. I don't think shorting right now is the right idea. As always, yeah, we have 1 hour supply up here. We could look for day trade shorts in there, but remember, guys, with the daily demand, daily uptrend and control, we want to be looking for longs. I cannot stress that enough. And who knows? I could totally be wrong. This could be the end of a huge trend here in the pound and all these other pairs, and something like this takes place, and that's fine, because then if we're left with daily supply that removes that trend, then we just trade accordingly, right? So it's no big deal if this trend ends, but as long as the trend is there, we need to continue to trade with it. All right, on to the USDCAD forecast. The past week, the banks added 3,873 longs, and they also added 8,800 shorts. Now, weekly chart, we have weekly demand and control with a weekly overall momentum to the upside. So we want to be sticking to longs, but the problem with that is if you look at a daily chart, we haven't really lost momentum here on the daily chart yet. Not only do we have supply, we have a downward trend line and control as well. So what we are looking for here is the removal of that supply and the downward trend line. That would be the ultimate buying signal here on the USDCAD. Now onto a 4 hour chart. I'm really not seeing anything for longs because this demand was already tested. This is another zone that I pointed out for the diamond members as well. But if you look now, we kind of have a potential trap setup forming here. We have clean supply up above at 1.326. So this 4 hour supply zone could be used for potential short trades for day trading confirmation. And if we continue to break up to 1.335, up to this 4 hour supply zone here, could be another area where you look for those day trade shorts. So really not seeing anything for buying, only really seeing, really only seeing the 4 hour supply zones to potentially short. If you look at a 1 hour chart here, we do have a clean 1 hour uptrend, and there is 1 hour demand below. I guess I spoke a little bit too early, but at 1.319, we have 1 hour demand here. Could be an area where we see a potential long trade off of the USD CAD like that. All right, guys, on to the Aussie US dollar forecast. The past week, the banks added 856 longs, and they also added 1,656 shorts. Now, weekly chart, weekly demand, monthly demand is in control, so we definitely need to be favoring longs. On the daily chart, we actually broke through this daily daily demand. Not surprised, there was so much trading in this area that I wasn't really expecting it to hold, but didn't mean that we couldn't be looking for longs in there anyways. So where I think we're headed now in the daily chart, yeah, this could just be a fake out and we could continue to blast off to the upside. But where I think we could be heading is down to 0.652. So down to this daily demand zone down here. Well, I will be interested in getting a long trade down there. So that I could see the next couple days looking something like this on the daily chart. So how do we go about trading that? Well, looking at the 1 hour chart, we already had a reaction of this 1 hour supply. Very, very poor quality supply. But I wouldn't be chasing price now. If you think we are going to continue to push down on the Aussie, we have 1 and 2 fresh 1 hour supply zones above. The first one is at 0.673. The second one is at 0.679. So if price does break this supply, we have clean supply up above, could see a potential day trade short off of that using confirmation, or looking for confirmation off the zone at the extreme at 0.679 like that. Remember, guys, confirmation will 100% be needed, and it's on day trading time frames only, because that is the only thing that makes sense based on what I'm seeing with the trends here on the Aussie US dollar. USDCHF forecast. The past week, the banks got rid of 748 longs, and they also added 1,032 shorts. Now, the daily chart looks very, very similar here on the USD Swiss, but the DXY, we're already like all the way up here at that point, right? So not showing as much strength here in the USD Swiss. So I don't know if we're going to get up to that daily supply zone. I'm kind of thinking no, unless the US dollar just, unless this huge down move we've seen in the US dollar come to an end. I don't know if we're going to get all the way up to there. I kind of hope we do, because we have clean weekly supply at 0.888. I would love to get a potential swing trade off of that weekly supply, but I'm really not sure if we're going to get that. So coming over to a 4 hour chart, there's really two options to trade here. If you think we're going to go long and you think that this downward trend has come to an end, which means on the 4 hour chart it has, we've not only removed supply, we've also removed a downward trend line as well, leaving us with 4 hour demand at 0.859. So if we do pull back down to this demand zone down here, this would be your buying setup down here. But with the daily downtrend being present, Do you really want to just be buying a 4-hour zone like this where, you know, you enter your buy, stop loss, and take profit? Probably not. You could, but what I would suggest is to risk way less. So basically there's two options. We either take this as a set and forget, and we risk less knowing that it's a high risk trade, or when price comes down to this 4-hour demand, you switch down to your 5-minute or 15-minute time frame and you look for confirmation trades coming off of that demand. I think this is the best situation of what to do and the lower risk situation. At that point, if you get a 15-minute or a 5-minute demand zone, then you could risk the full 1%. And then you would also prevent yourself from, you know, just taking a pointless loss kind of thing. Now, if you think we're going to get the continuation of the downward move, which I do, the higher odds thing to be doing is to be shorting. So we have really 3 4-hour supply zones here. Any one of these supply zones could be good for potential trading on day trading timeframes. So really, I would just be focusing on all 4 of these supply zones at 0.876, 0.881, and 0.889. I know those numbers aren't the easiest to read, but that's why I have the chart link for all the numbers as well. So you can just get my chart link, and these zones will be on your chart. That's why it's so simple like that. Remember, check it out. Links are in the description. Little shameless plug there, but as far as USD Swiss goes, guys, daily downtrends in control. Longs are, you know, definitely risky. Doesn't mean we can't do it, because who knows, we could be pulling back, and doesn't mean you can't get a potential, a potential long trade to kind of just trade long against the trend to the downside. Because yes, in a downtrend there are up moves, but most of the money is to be made on the downside. That's why I'm more focused on the 4-hour supply zones that I pointed out. Last but not least, we're on to crude oil. The past week, the banks got rid of 8,834 longs, and for shorts, they got rid of 27,931. Looking at a weekly chart, we do have some sort of selling right here, but ultimately the real supply is at 87,257 right here on the weekly chart. So I think we could continue to see upward pressure here on oil until we contact this weekly supply zone. Unfortunately, I couldn't get an entry here on oil. I talked about it last week. I missed my entry by a few pips down here, but it's all good. I just, I came back from it and I sucked it up, and I was a man. I just continued to trade and look for setups, but couldn't really find anything else here in oil. Now, a significant thing has taken place here. We are into this supply zone again for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th time now, and the 6th time it was tested very, very deep. So that is a sign, an indication that this supply zone is going to be removed. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to be removed 100%, but what I am looking for here on the daily chart on oil is I am looking for this to be removed, and hopefully we'll get a nice demand zone here like that, and then we can potentially look for swing trades off of that daily demand zone, just like this one down here that I pointed out a couple forecasts ago. So basically looking to repeat this, but up here, because there's really no fresh zones down here. I mean, if we do get a pullback down to this zone, I'd still be interested at 71.82, but to me it doesn't look like we are. Looks like nothing but strength here on oil. So if we get this removed, I'll be looking for the daily zone that removes that. And as far as day trading it goes, I'm not going to go down to lower time frames here on this forecast. I kind of saved that for the daily market breakdown videos. But with the 4-hour trend and the 1-hour trends being up, what that means is day trading longs on like a 1-minute, 5-minute, 50-minute chart are 100% on the table. But remember, guys, with the daily supply and control, yes, I said it's probably going to be removed based on my experience and what I've seen in the markets, but it doesn't mean that we won't see small reactions where you could break through your little day trading demand zones or whatever your trade. So with the 4-hour trends to the upside, the 1-hour trends to the upside, day trading longs are fine. We just need to be trading with caution because of the daily supply that's in control. And then for swing trading, I don't like it for shorts until we can get to this weekly supply at 87.225. But so in the meantime, we just need to wait for that daily supply to be removed on oil. I hope you guys found this weekly Forex forecast helpful. If it did, I would really appreciate a like and a subscribe if you are new to the channel. And as always, check out the YouTube and Patreon membership if you want to get my daily chart analysis and much, much more.